How big is your farm? 100 plots? 200 plots? Maybe if you're ambitious, 1,000 plots. What happens when you go bigger? A lot bigger. I'm MediocreMilton, and in this video, I'm going to show you my 6,382 plot farm and how big the rate is after not picking the crops for more than a week in game. If you do end up finding this video interesting, please click the like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Also, I do stream over on Twitch, link in the description below. Let's get started. Now, before I give you a tour of the farm as we wait for this raid to happen, I'm going to show you a quick drawing that I did in Microsoft Paint. Please don't laugh. I'm not that artistically talented. It's the best that I could do, just to show you how the farm is laid out. So here's the layout of the farm. I'm standing in the bottom left corner, where down here right now. So the side closest to me has a giant section here. I put the dotted lines just so I could break it up. This is completely continuous of soil all the way over here. So this side has a total, it has 1,302 in this big section, 380 in the section closest to this little pond, and 1,050 over here. And this watering system right here, this pond right here is hooked up to the watering system. So this side gets watered automatically. Well, with I press a switch, it goes down, moves over a little bit, and then comes back. The other side is 73 by 50, has 3,650 plots, uses this pond over here to set up for the automatic watering system. So in total, we have 6,382 plants right now. So with that said, we'll just take a quick walk around. And what you're going to see is I tried to make it as aesthetically pleasing as possible. So I have this nice little railway that goes all around here. Down on the bottom, we're going to see the walls have, around the entire thing is concrete too. And I have double rails going all the way around. This was supposed to stop the hay bots and the tote bots from getting in. So one thing I ended up finding, and that's why there's randomly like wood just placed down here somewhere. If I come to the outside, there's wood just placed around the outside here, mostly around the whole thing. And the reason I did that was because the bots still end up spawning inside of the farm. So most likely when this raid happens, there's going to be a handful of bots that spawn inside of it. And there's no easy way to get in right now because I didn't put any seats or any doors yet. Just didn't have time to do it. But anyway, we'll show you the watering system. The watering system is pretty cool. So I had help on my stream. Some people gave me some suggestions for this, how to set it up. Also have like the entire area is lit up by lights. So I have this light switch. This light switch covers this and this side, like this chunk. There's a light switch over there, and there's also one over there. So we're going to leave those on because it's going to get dark later. It might be hard to see because I don't have all the lights set up. So basically what this watering system does, it's all connected down here. We have this nice little thing here. The other side has one too. I just haven't finished the fencing on it yet because I haven't had time to farm it. And I wanted to look at make the entire thing look really nice and have these paver blocks everywhere. I just haven't had time to farm all the rock or the stone that I need for that. But like I was saying, here's the watering system for here. Basically what's going on is we have 2 controllers down here. There's a total of 16 pistons on this side. So 10 of them are hooked up to the first one, 6 are hooked to the second one. There's also a timer down there. And what ends up happening is when I press the button, each one of them goes, we can show you the controllers real quick, show you how this is set up. So this is the second one. This is the first one. So they're staggered one by one. This is how you make it so that the first piston, when it finishes, it extends all the way up to 15. The second one will not start until the first one gets to 15. So you stagger it all the way down, like a little step there. This side, they're all set to 13 because that's as far as the farm reaches right now. I did actually have more plots, but I took some of them out just because the watering system didn't seem to be hitting them all every time. And then we also have a timer here. The timer's set to 52 seconds. That was the time that I found was best for making sure that 2 of the pistons didn't go off at the same time. So that's that. There's the same thing is set up on the other side. The other side, I think, has either the same number of pistons or maybe one more or one less. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, this thing goes down. And then the second button slides it over. So there's also a piston over here. And what happens is if I press this button, you're going to see this thing slides one spot over. So what this ended up doing was saving me a ton of time because I was trying to farm the resources to have water cannons on every single plot, but it just ended up making it so heavy and just unfeasible because you need so much beeswax and so much other materials because you also need more water containers and everything. So it's just easier to do this. And what this ends up doing is it goes down, waters one side. I press the button, it slides over one. When I bring it back, the water containers are completely full anyway. So it ends up watering most of the other ones. Now, between this side and the other side, it waters probably about like 99.8% of the crops. It'll probably, out of the total of 6,382, maybe not water about 20 to 30 of them that I'd have to water by hand. But if I run it back and forth a couple times, it'll be fine. And yeah, like I said, I put this wood floor as much as I could. I basically used all the materials I could, and there's some legs here we'll get later. I basically put this all the way around as far as I could, because what ended up happening is they're going to end up spawning in here anyway. So there's going to end up being probably the last time, yesterday when I ran this, the last raid had, I think it was like 2 tote bots spawned inside the fence, and I ended up losing a couple crops. So most likely, if I extend the, if I end up getting enough pavers or enough wood, I'll extend it all the way out to the concrete barriers here, and it'll stop them from spawning inside, hopefully. Just haven't had time to do that. Also, I don't think it's showing up right now. It's not showing up right now, but there's actually 3 raids that are going to happen here, because apparently this farm, unbeknownst to me when I built it, is set across a total of 3 different chunks. So what's going to end up happening is there should be, I'm not sure why they're not showing up. It could be because I've turned the game off multiple times. There ends up being like 2 timers on this side and 1 on this side. So we're going to end up getting a triple raid. Now, theoretically, if the game was able to handle it, the number of bots that spawn during a raid should be comparable to the number of plants you have, or number of crops you have planted. Now, unfortunately, because the game currently can't handle that, they've reduced the number. So there's actually a cap on the number that we're going to get. We're still going to get quite a few just because it has 3 chunks. So we're going to get a pretty large raid. But I don't know if you had played survival when it first came out, if you planted 100 crops, you would get raids that were like incredibly large. Because I don't know what the formula was back then. You would end up getting massive raids that ended up just completely destroying frame rates. So fortunately here, they've done a lot of improvements on the code. They do cap the number you can get per chunk. So I'm going to get a triple. It's going to basically be 3 times, and the FPS shouldn't drop too much. So that's fine. Also, where's my car? I think my car's inside. One other thing is I put these blades on the side, and they're here just for, they almost kind of look like decoration, but they're honestly here just to keep the bots from being able to get to just basically getting stand here and get stuck. Because what I was also doing was I was farming, I was killing all the hay bots just to get the scrap metal, because it's an easy way to get metal. And yeah, I also built steps in different places, so I tried to make it look as nice as possible. We're gonna end up skipping forward here about 6 minutes so that you can see the raid, and I'm gonna try to position myself in the center so that we can get the best view of where the bots are gonna spawn from. Okay, we're back. There's about 30 seconds till the raid's going to start. Once again, we have almost 6,400 crops planted here, ranging from tier 1 all the way up to tier 2. The only thing we don't have planted are broccoli and pineapple. I didn't want to get farm bots on the first go around with this. I'll probably do that later just to see what happens, because I didn't want them tearing everything up. But we're going to see in about 10 seconds if anything spawns inside. I'm probably going to lose a few crops because almost surely there's going to be 1 or 2 spawning inside. It looks like it's lit up as best as possible. All right, did we get any inside this time? So there's a tote bot that spawned inside down here. Usually there's like 1 or 2 on each side that spawn inside. Yeah, there's another one inside there. So he spawned inside. This guy's going to town here. Can I kill him from here? Oh, I can, I guess. We're going to lose some crops to this guy, but that's okay. I'm not even worried about the crops. He's gone. Oh, this little guy's in here doing something. So yeah, it looks like the only way to stop them from spawning inside, and I'm not even sure if it'll work. I should go down here and take care of this one. He's going to end up destroying a bunch of them. The only way to stop them from spawning inside is probably going to be to build all the way up to the edge here. The only reason I didn't do that initially was because, well, this guy did some work down here, destroyed like a bunch of crops. The only reason I didn't do that originally was because I just didn't want to use all the building materials, to be honest. Let's kill these guys real quick. And of course, you could set up traps around this thing. This was like just demonstration purposes. So as you can see, what's that? There's like 4. So let's count them. There's 4 hay bots on this side. 5, 6, 7 hay bots. 8 hay bots. 9. 10. 11, 12. Is there any over here hiding in the corner? 13, 14, 15, 16. Did I count? I don't think I counted these guys yet, right? 17, 18. So I can see 18 of them. I'm not sure if there's any hiding on these corners over here or not. They shouldn't be because, whoops, I shouldn't have fallen out of there. Also, will they aggro me if I'm out here? Another thing we can learn here. Look, they're actually aggro to the farm, but because they won't attack the walls, they're not even going to attack me, which is crazy. I can just stand right here, and they won't attack me. So yeah, the one thing that I definitely want to see is I want to see larger raids. So hopefully they can improve the game's performance a little bit better so that the raids can scale up. Now, obviously, I don't know if they would ever be able to scale it up to a multiplier factor to handle 6,000 crops. That's kind of like, this was just like a crazy experiment to see what we could do. But as you can see, the raid here, even though it was a triple raid, it ended up being not much larger than if you would have just planted, I think like 60 crops is the number, 60 or 80 crops, something like that. So basically, the gist of this is, oh, there's another one in here. Didn't even see him. He's like randomly destroying stuff. So the whole gist of this is basically is the raid size is going to be capped. So whether you have 60 crops or 6,000, the raid's going to be the same. And I just wanted to prove that and just show that it is actually possible to build a massive farm like this. Now, the biggest challenge here, honestly, after building it is going to be picking all this stuff, because I did a video a couple weeks ago, I think it was, about talking about like seed stack size was one of the things that's a problem. Picking all these crops is going to take forever and a day, honestly, because I'm going to have all those seeds left over. And then the question is going to be like, what the heck do I do with all the crops and seeds? Because I don't have chests, obviously, to put them all in. And someone actually asked me yesterday on my stream, why aren't you automatically picking them? And I was going to do that, but there's two reasons I'm not doing the automatic picking or planting right now. And number one is because this is bad. It's enough. It was hard enough to get this thing to work, but for this size of a farm to actually have it to automatically pick or plant would require tons of vacuum pumps, or unless you're only going to do potatoes, because you can shoot potatoes down into the ground using the spud gun. But assuming you want to plant other crops, you're going to have one for, at the very least, every other row, planting them and then picking them. They're going to weigh a lot more. And also, how are you going to collect them all? Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up filling up the chest that they're connected to so quickly. It's just not even manageable right now. So until they make it a little bit easier to do that, I'm not going to worry about that. Once again, this was 6,382 crops planted. I think we probably lost like 50 or 100 right here just to those 3 random bots that spawned in. I didn't even see that guy down there. And if you want to do something like this, just make sure you build all the way out to the edges to stop them from spawning inside. I'm pretty sure they will not spawn inside of the plots of soil. They will spawn on grass. So what they're doing is they're spawning on the grass that I just haven't covered yet because I didn't have enough time to do it. And like I said, it took me probably 3 or 4 in-game days to just plant all this stuff because I didn't have enough seeds, and then just to get them all watered and everything, and planting and repicking to get the seeds and put them down. And now it's been more than a week in game. So anyway, there was the raid. We only got 18 hay bots and probably about like 10 or 12 tote bots. And we do have 3 chunks, as you can see. There's 3 timers now. So imagine if it was smaller, there would have been even fewer, right? So if it was only 1 chunk, it would have probably, I think it caps out at 10 hay bots and like 4 tote bots. So that was the video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting. If you guys have any ideas for other videos that you would like to see, crazy stuff like this, make sure you leave those down in the comments below so I can test some things out. I'll probably run a raid in the future on this farm by planting some broccoli and pineapple just to see what happens, because I'm not sure if the farm bots will actually aggro. If I'm standing in the middle here and they can't reach me or the crops, as long as they don't spawn inside the fence, I don't know if they'll even attack. So that's something to test. If they do attack, there's going to be a big problem. So that's why that was why I was a little bit apprehensive about doing that, because if there's 3 of them that spawn, or in this case, there could be a total of 9, I think. If they spawn on different sides and they all break through, they're going to go crazy and destroy everything. But we might try that out in the future. But if you have any other ideas for some crazy stuff you would like me to test out or like to see, leave those down in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, please click the like button and consider subscribing for more videos like this. Once again, I do stream over on Twitch. Link for that is down in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.